Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails, Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast, episode 112. Today, we're going to be talking with Derrick Lytle. If this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links from the show notes. Now let's get after it. This episode of the Trail Manners Podcast is sponsored by Health IQ. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance for health-conscious people, including runners, cyclists, strength trainers, vegans, podcasters, and more. That's right, Health IQ rewards us for our lifestyle choices. To see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/trailmanners or mention the promo code TrailManners when you talk to a Health IQ agent. Now let's get to the show. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Trail Manners Podcast. This is episode 112. Sort of a take two, if you will.
Yes.
We had this individual behind the microphone in the first part of December down at the Capstone Races in southern Utah. Mm-hmm. But in the over 200 podcasts we've done, it's the second time we lost a show.
And we were almost done with that show.
We were wrapping it up. And
right.
it was, and I was thinking back on that show. It was that big full moon.
Oh, that's right. The supermoon.
Oh, yeah, supermoon
about that. Yeah.
Over Zion, and we
Yeah.
were set up at the finish line, and supermoon was like just checking us out. It
Yeah.
was like watching us.
Right.
It was like reversal. It was like, hey, there's the Trail Manners Podcast. I'm going to hang out above Zion for a minute. But our guest we have on, so this is a take two, so it'll be interesting. We have Derrick Lytle. And it's a little different weather today.
Oh, it's terrible.
So we're in the middle of a whiteout.
It's full-on winter again.
Yeah, just
I
like
thought it was cold
that.
when we were down in St. George, but this is totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
It's
inside.
snowing and wet
Yeah,
and
little
freezing.
different for sure. So yeah, Derrick Lytle, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for braving the elements. He's got his shorts on, which I have mad respect for.
Yeah.
I'm a shorts guy,
Yeah,
but
you
I was
are.
doing some shoveling before I came, so I have some pants on.
In my defense, I went running before, so I went running, just came straight here.
Oh,
Gotcha.
nice. Outside, I'm guessing.
Outside, yeah.
How was that? Where'd you go?
In Brigham. I was
Okay.
getting my oil changed in my car, so I was like, oil change, take advantage of the time and go for a run.
There you
and
go.
Said
Downtime.
it wasn't too bad up there.
It
Yeah, well, it
wasn't too bad. It was cold, but it wasn't dumping like this.
Yeah, it wasn't at North Ogden about an hour ago. It took me about that long to drive 10 miles.
Right.
But up here it is. It's a full whiteout. You can barely see the parking lot, which is rare. But yeah, for those of you that don't know Derrick, he is, it used to be like Derrick's a photographer, right? He just captures these crazy, awesome shots, a lot of desert stuff. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to it later. But he's a legit runner, man.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like he's wearing a few hats behind the lens.
Right.
So we're going to start there. Let's start with photography. That's first where I came across you and your work is social media and just seeing crazy photos that you would take. A lot of them was with Hayden Hawks, but also a lot was just sandstone, red rock, southern Utah, Arizona, I believe, some stuff. So let's start there. How did you get into photography?
Got into photography when I was in high school.
Yeah? Just a couple years ago?
Yeah,
You're a
just
young
couple
lad.
years ago. just pretty recently, I guess. No, I look back, I guess it was like 2000s or something.
Oh,
It's been a
geez,
while.
2000s.
Yeah, I was in high school and
Y2K.
Yeah.
graduated in 2004. So
Oh
it's
my
been a long
gosh.
time.
Let's skip that. Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back in the day, my brother and I, we got really into playing paintball, like shooting paintball guns and stuff, and go to tournaments and things. And I just wanted a video camera to document just the whole process and hanging out with my friends and our friends and everything. And at the time, video cameras were still kind of like harder to get than a still camera. And so for my birthday, my parents got me a 35 millimeter just still camera, and then started taking photos, took some photo classes in high school, college, and just kind of morphed from there. And then obviously my interests changed like as I got older. Now it's a lot more of just trail running and outdoor adventure sports.
So, did you grow up in southern Utah?
I grew up in southern Nevada,
Okay.
small town. It's called Overton.
Okay.
Probably never heard of it.
I really haven't. This is the original O-Town, so
Yes, it
Overton
is.
can't have that.
Nope.
So is that where you kind of started? Because we've talked with you before and seen your stuff. You're kind of into the desert. I mean, that's kind of your thing, right? We've
Yeah.
talked to you before. Is that kind of why you're into that? Is that where you grew up, kind of?
Yeah, I think so. I also just hate the cold, which I know is funny because I'm wearing shorts right now, and it's
And
like,
you're living back in northern Utah?
yeah, I live
Yeah.
in Brigham
But-
City where it's freezing.
But
Yeah.
you do have a puffy and a beanie on, so it
Yeah.
kind of weighs it out.
That's
Almost.
true. I do what I can. I'm almost always wearing a jacket now. But I just love the desert, though. Like, just the warmth and everything. It does get cold and everything. Like, St. George can get cold. Like, Zion can get really cold and everything. But I just, for whatever reason, I'm attracted to it. Like, I love, like, the emptiness and just, I don't know, it's just so simple usually. Like, it's not, I don't know, there's not giant glaciers and all this sort of stuff, which is pretty in itself. But then going to the desert, you just feel like, I don't know, like you're just alone, and it's just the simplicity of it, I guess, which is probably why I like running too, because it's so simple. There's not a lot of gear, not a lot of stuff. It's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be a flip side with photography, though, right? Isn't
That's a lot of
photography
gear.
is a lot of gear, less simplicity? Like I'm
Right.
serious. I look at camera stuff. I have a camera, and it's got all these settings, and I'm like, where's the auto? Like, where do I
Yeah,
just have to push a
right.
button?
There's the automatic mode. Just
Yeah.
hit the dial.
It's like
Yeah.
you can do
Oh, yeah.
so much, but I don't even want to read it.
No.
I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how was that getting used to like the simplicity stuff, like becoming a
Is that the
legit?
balance between the yin and the yang?
Maybe.
The simple of running.
Yeah,
or the other
maybe like you
sides.
think about it, because like I do have like a ton of gear, a full room of like time lapse gear, video, like,
Right.
filmmaking gear, just still gear, monster computer, all this stuff. But
Right.
then when I go run, especially in the summer, it's always
Strip it down.
just shorts and shoes, like
Yeah.
no shirt or anything, just really simple. But then
Do you run in the Courtney DeWalter shorts?
the basketball shorts,
Basketball baggies.
These are North Face shorts actually.
They're North Face.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is going to be the 2018 thing.
It
you know,
will be.
because we've had the button up flannel. We've
We
had
did.
the whole
We-
cutting your holes in your
We
shirts.
had the Walmsley shirt.
And
Now
then
we
I-
got the DeWalter shorts.
Now we got the people are going to be running around in basketball shorts.
Yep.
Now. All right, I see it.
That's it.
We got to catch this
That's
trend,
why she's
man.
so strong. The
Yeah,
basketball
I
shorts.
know, right?
and we screw it up. Me and Joel been going shorter.
I know.
Like we were like 7-8 inch length, and now I'm creeping to 5. And I almost bought a pair of 4-inch La Sportivas yesterday.
Whoa.
Right? But I'm like, man, I don't know if that's going to keep the things I need kept.
Now,
right?
see, I just got a pair
it up.
of Patagonia shorts that are 10 inches.
What?
10 inches. Are those like over your knees?
Pretty. They're
Clam
probably like
diggers.
those right there, dude. So, but these are more like gym shorts.
This is hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out gym shorts.
All right.
Yeah,
After race, when you're,
yeah.
I want to get a pair of 3-inch splits, just for fun.
Please don't.
Just for fun.
Please don't. Yeah, I'm on the same page.
Hey,
Don't.
when Operation Svelte's over, people
Yeah.
are gonna be asking for the 3-inch split.
the 3-inch
They're gonna be like,
manners.
they're like,
yeah.
you're gonna need to wear some 3-inch split, and I'm like, funny thing, check it.
You just happen to have some.
Maybe special occasion.
You just show them by ripping off like your tear off pants or
Oh,
something.
totally.
Hey, let's
button-up
not spoil the surprise for the summer here. Right? I'm trying to work on Coppertone as a sponsor.
Copper tone.
I mean, with the photography, when did you take it to the next level? From like taking like high school classes, and I know gear is a big part of it, but it's also
Was that something you did in college?
Kind of. I was a journalism major.
Right.
And so it kind of was like a multimedia, like quote unquote multimedia journalism major, but it was very, very basic. And so I was super bored in college just because it was just, okay, like easy writing and then like very basic photography stuff that I already knew. So I was always just going out and doing other things. And that's when I got involved in time-lapse photography.
Okay.
And then started to want to do more like filmmaking and that sort of thing. So it was kind of just out of boredom, I guess, like wanting to push further and further.
Right.
And yeah, and then I don't know, I guess like after college I didn't get a job in journalism, just had an SEO job here in town at a tech company.
Right.
And then was really bored with that and just kept doing more filmmaking and photography on the side. And then my cousin's husband was working on a climbing film, and we met and then just, I don't know, started climbing a lot more and like shooting a lot more climbing, and then I don't know, then just kind of quit my job and now do it full time.
awesome?
What was your first really like big project, or the thing that you're like, okay, I'm here.
That giggle moment.
This is I'm getting paid for it.
I don't even know if I can really pinpoint it. Like I remember doing some stuff for Ultra, like back when they were first getting started, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I can actually like make a couple bucks. Like, well, at the time it was almost no money. It was like I was still working a full-time job, and
Right.
and like on the weekends going out and shooting a few things. And I don't even know. I remember shooting some stuff for Ultra Runner magazine that didn't even pay anything. Like I went to Wasatch and shot some stuff up there, and it got printed. But I was like, oh, cool. I got no money off of this. And this is hard.
Here you go.
Yeah.
This is like a learning curve the whole time. You're like, okay, I got to take good stuff and then work out like the business side of it to get paid. And
Right.
so I really can't pinpoint it, but it's definitely a slow process though of like kind of working in with people, getting to know people, and then finally getting paid for it once you improve.
So then let's take that, flip it around. What is the piece that you're most proud of?
I don't even know.
No?
It's going to be that 3-inch split short I'm going to wear. That's what it's going to be.
He's going to do
shorties.
the reveal.
Yeah. He'll put a canvas print with that one.
Canvas print.
I don't know. I guess like it's a constantly evolving process, and I think it's kind of the artist's dilemma where like you create something, and then the second you release it, it's always like, oh, this sucks. Like this is the worst thing I've ever done. And
Super nitpicky.
yeah, like with everything I do, I'm like, oh, this is a killer photo, and then even if it's just Instagram, I'll post it. And if it doesn't get 1 million likes in the first hour, I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like, why did I even post this?
1 million.
Right.
We're happy with like 200.
7.
Okay, I really don't get 1 million. That was a little exaggeration.
You got a big following.
He does.
But even just like videos too, like I guess I don't know. Like I released a 200 video where Mike McKnight from Ultra ran the Triple Crown 200s, and we did a video about him doing that, and like super stoked on it. It did really well online. Got a lot of like just compliments on it. But the day it came out, instantly I was like, yeah, this video sucks. Like there's all these things I can do better. Like so many
Right.
different things, and it was a great video in reality. Like it told a story. It was fun to shoot. But then instantly I was just like, yeah, I can do better.
I think that's got to be difficult, though, from your side, because I imagine a film like that, I mean, I've seen some, been in part of some in some process, but you shoot so much video or so many pictures, but you have to condense it, right? So you're cutting and editing, and so you see the big picture where we just get to see the cool snippet parts. So I think that must be a difficult process, thinking, oh, I shouldn't have included that, or I should have included that, or, I mean, is that part of it? I mean, you have hours of film for 15 minutes.
Yeah, like when I went through and did the like initial edit, I think it was like 50 minutes of footage, and we had to cut it down to 15 or so. But then it's like, okay, like what is the main story here? What's the important part? What's going to progress Mike's story? And then what also is pretty to show? Like, I don't want to just show like, oh, we're sitting in a parking lot aid station or something.
Right.
Like, you want to show like the highlights of all these races because they're all in like really pretty locations and everything. So it is hard to like just figure out what you want to show, and then once you put it in a timeline on your editor, you're like, well, like should I pull all this out and throw in all this other stuff and tell a different story? And I don't know. It's like it's hard. Like the editing process is really hard for me every time.
Well, so speaking of the story part, when you're doing a film for a company or an athlete, do you have the story heading in and then you're filming that story, or you film and then come up with a story, or is it a little bit of both?
It's always a lot of like pre-production. Like recently I just released it yesterday, Ultra did, I think, a film about Zach Bitter, where the whole thing was to show Zach and like his working towards like breaking world records in the flat track scene, and then moving more towards like mountain races and stuff. And he ran Desert Solstice, and we all just assumed like, oh, he's going to run Desert Solstice and have a great time, finish the race and everything. But then he like just fell apart, ended up laying on the ground and everything. So it was really interesting because like I planned for the whole video initially, like a couple days worth of planning. Like, okay, Zach's going to do this, he's going to do this, he's going to do this. Nicole, his girlfriend's going to do this. And then basically none of that happened. And so after like planning for days, it's like the whole video changed 180 degrees. And then I had to go back down to Phoenix and shoot some other stuff. And it turned out really well, but it's like you never really know what you're going to get. Like you could plan just everything to the T, but then then there's that variable of like an athlete failing or doing really well. You just don't know what's going to happen. And so you prepare as best you can, but then also kind of have a plan B in the back of your mind and kind of just go with the flow. and which makes it hard, but also fun too, though, because if it was all just planned out, it's like, well, it's just all controlled and kind of boring at that point.
Well, that's got to be pretty raw, though. I mean, because we're talking about runners in a trail and ultra running where it's just you never really know what's going to happen as a runner. I mean, you have, hey, this is what I'd like to do. I've trained for this, but things could fall apart. So you're capturing or being a part of these crazy raw moments of seeing deep into somebody. Can that be uncomfortable at times, like trying to have a camera on somebody when they're at ground zero?
Yeah, it can be. And I've talked with my girlfriend a lot about this, like just getting to know the athletes really well and being their actual friend can really make or break a video. Like Zach is really, really cool guy, really, really nice, and I've known him for a couple of years. So like when he ended up like basically just falling down the track, like it wasn't a big deal for me to put the camera in his face. Like there was an understanding on both of our sides that that's what I was doing. But at the same time, I was trying to be like respectful of the situation, but also get those shots. And I remember Nicole, his girlfriend, was a little annoyed with some of the other photographers. They were just jumping right in on him and stuff. And then afterwards, I was like, "Oh, Nicole, I'm sorry. Like, if I like offended you or something." She's like, "Oh no, you're our friend. Like, it's okay."
Right,
Like,
you're
she was
good.
totally cool with it. And same thing with like Mike in the 200 video. Like,
Right.
when you're running a 200-mile race, like, yeah, the first 30 miles might be great, but then after that, you're gonna have a lot of lows and a lot of highs. And there's just so many moments where I was sticking the camera in the full, like, huge camera in Mike's face, and he was okay with that because we became such good friends over the time that
Right.
even though he was having like one of the worst days of his life probably, he was still okay with me being there and talking to him. It's because we were friends.
Right.
So it's just kind of interesting how it's more than just like, I'm a good filmmaker. Like, not saying I am, but like, you can't just be a good filmmaker to make great films. You also have to be very personable and just understanding of other people too, and kind of like read people's body signals, because if they're being pissed off or annoyed, you have to learn to be like, okay, I should back off a little bit, maybe just set the camera down and talk to them and then pull it out later or something. And yeah, just kind of roll with it, I guess.
So do you a lot of the stuff you do have you just learned as you've gone along? Because I think we've talked to you before, and I know people that are not new, but have been around trail running, ultra running. There's names that we've heard of, right? Like
Billy Yang.
There's Matt Trappy, Fred Marmster.
Yep.
You know, the list, there's like 4 or 5 more, right, that we would look at and say, yeah, they've been here, they're legit. Have you ever, I'm sure you have, but have you talked with them to get ideas, advice, or you just figure it out and then you guys just kind of share ideas?
It kind of depends, I guess. Like Matt and I have worked on a few projects together. He's really great to work with. So like whenever him and I are together, like it's just almost like we're just like brainstorming the whole time. Like he has ideas, I have ideas, and they just kind of like explode into other ideas. And like if I'm working on a project with him, then I'm like, oh yeah, well we should do this, or this might be cool. And you're like, oh yeah, let's do that. And the idea just evolves and gets better and better and better. And then like last year I shot at Lytle with Billy Yang. Yeah, he was running that, so we put a film out. It was a goo film. And
I just watched that 2 days ago.
Right,
actually,
good, huh?
Yeah, the why.
Yeah,
I just watched that 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was super fun. Like I've known Billy for quite a few years, but we've never worked on anything together. So actually spending all that time with him and then working on the film with him was great, because like going back to kind of what we were just barely talking about, like he had his plan for what he wanted, but at the same time, like we didn't know how his race was gonna go.
Right.
We thought it might be kind of hard. He had run like Silver Rush 50 or something a little bit before, and was like, altitude kills me, because he lives at sea level. And so the film was like, we have this plan for it, and then I have my ideas on how I shoot, like my shooting style,
Right.
then his shooting style, where he's more of like a vloggy, like YouTube vlog type videos, and mine's a little more like concise, different things. But in the end, though, it all came together really well, and it was fun to see like my footage mixed with his style of editing and voiceover and everything, to see it all come together. And I thought it turned out really well.
No, it did. It's something everybody should go look at, the why, because like I said, I saw it 2 days ago, and it's just, it has those low spots. And as a runner, you've hit those, and so you're looking at it going, oh my gosh, you know. And in my mind, on a moment, I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember that next time I'm in a low spot, right? Because you saw him pull out of those things, and you're like, yeah, you can do that. I mean, everybody does it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that like, I don't know, I guess like being a runner myself, like shooting, running, like I understand like kind of what people are going through. Like I've never ran 100 or anything, but like running longer stuff and then going through those low moments and knowing how painful it can be, like you really understand. So that way when you edit or shoot, or you're shooting photos or something, like I don't know, it's easier to show what's actually going on as opposed to just like some guy that, I don't know, a news shooter or something like from KSL or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm out here shooting, running's dumb or whatever. But it's like we know like what we like to see, and then we're able to like, I don't know, I guess show other runners that same thing, like show the emotion and the grit and the pain and the challenges and everything.
So I have a Billy Yang question for you. Does he shave his legs?
I think he does.
He's got to. If you go back and look at the video, they're pretty saucy.
Pretty sure that he does.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't, and I was looking at him going, man, he's got to shine.
Or or he's just a shiny guy.
Yeah,
Billy's a good-looking kid.
He is.
But I'm not checking him out by any means. So.
Well, you answered very quickly, so I'm thinking either A, you videoed it, or B, you helped. So I don't know.
Pre-race, we're shaving his legs in the bathroom.
He's had to edit that part out. Shave the goo logo in the back of his calf.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool. I'm going to do that with my back hair. I'm going to shave like the Trail Manners logo.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
And stuff back there.
That would be bad, right?
Get in the back of your head. Right there.
Yeah, I could do that. It'll grow back, right?
It always
Maybe.
does.
Maybe when you reveal your 3-inch shorts, you just have it on your
we'll
leg
call
or
that the
something.
reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's
That'd
called.
be
Reveal 2018. So what are some of the favorite things? I know Joel says your favorite piece, but give me an idea of the events or races maybe that have been your favorite so far to film or shoot.
I'd definitely say like Hard Rock has been my favorite. I went out there a few years ago, back when Journey Film was a thing. Like I shot for them, and I'd never been to the San Juans before. And the minute I rolled in, I was just blown away. Like even though we just talked about how I'm totally in love with the desert and everything, the San Juans are just a different animal. Like they're just it's gorgeous, it's brutal, and everything about it. Plus, just the culture around Hard Rock it's very cool. It's a good vibe to be there. The town of Silverton's really cool, and all the other towns. And the mountains are just insane. Like, you can't even describe it. Like if you've never been there, like you can't describe it. It's just indescribable, and it's cool. So shooting that was fun. Western States obviously is really fun too. And I honestly was never really interested in Western until I went. And then when I went, I was like, wow, I see why people are so amped up about this race, like the history and everything that's been going on there. Plus it's super competitive, so it's really fun to watch, and it's a fun race to be at as well. So I'd say Western Hard Rock, which probably sounds kind of cliche now that I'm thinking about it, but
that's okay.
It's fun.
But in trail running though, you think, I mean, as cliche as it may sound, but in trail running you think about it, and those two are kind of the creme de la cremes here, right? I mean,
in the U.S. they're definitely
so it's like if you want that experience, those are just two names that pop up continuously for everybody. I've never, run either, been to both, but it's like, those two would always come to my head or in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
What about races you would like to do that you maybe haven't been a part of that you're like, man, I got to get on that?
Ooh, I don't know. I want to run Wasatch. I actually put in for it this year. And then I ended up withdrawing my name because my girlfriend got into OCC.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, she's supporting me. I'm running Georgia Death Race next month. So, she's coming out to crew me for that. So I was like, okay, if she's going to make this big trip, then I'm going to drop Wasatch to go help her at OCC in Europe. It's kind of a big trip, and it's her dream race for sure. Okay. So
I was going to say, you're taking her to Georgia. And she's taking you to Europe. That's
a big difference.
You got to step up your game, bro.
Yeah.
Well, Georgia's been a dream race of mine for some reason. I don't know why.
I know.
I'm why do I want to run Georgia Death Race so bad?
Because it sounds cool.
That's probably why. I'm Death's in the title.
I know.
What other races can I do that sound awful?
We got to come up with a death name here in Ogden. We'll probably sell it out.
Ogden Death Race.
Something like that.
Hotel Muerte.
I don't know what he said, but that sounded wicked.
Sounds awful. Sign me up.
That's right.
So what are you more into? Are you still more favorite towards photography, or would you say you're evolving more into being a filmmaker?
Definitely more into the film scene.
Okay.
Started in photography and everything, but I always wanted to do more video and filmmaking. And then, I don't know, I just started doing both. Then lately it's just been straight up video for the past couple of years. I've done a few still projects, but for the most part it's video. And I still like doing both, and you have to think about both mediums differently, just the shooting and the gear and everything. But I think video is kind of the future of everything for me, at least. So I'll still shoot stills for fun.
Right.
I love it.
Nice. With
Yeah.
your flip phone, or do you have like you have special equipment? I'm sure,
He
right?
might have some special equipment.
Probably the iPhone
The
X,
Razor.
the
iPhone
10.
X.
iPhone
Yeah.
X. I actually wish I had that. I have an iPhone 6 and it's so slow.
Hey,
That's
hey,
okay.
easy. I've got one.
I did too.
So what do you got going on? Is there anything you have going this year for projects that you can talk about? Or, I mean, do you have projects lined up for the year that you're looking forward to besides Georgia Death Race and OCC?
Yeah, a few things, I guess. I'm going to Vegas next week or couple weeks for a time-lapse shoot, which is totally non-running related. I'll just be shooting time-lapses for this trophy truck race, which is fun. I love shooting time-lapses, and it's fun to shoot something different than just running. Like, I love running and everything, but to mix it up and just artistically it's different. The style is different. The delivery format, where this is going to be on TV and on the web, it's just a different way of shooting and for a different audience. So.
Wow.
Right.
So it's fun, just different. Then there's also UTV championships in April in Central Nevada, which is like a Polaris Razor race type thing.
Wow.
So I'll be shooting that too, which is fun. Like, the crew is really fun to work with. Let's see, what else am I doing? I just got back from Moab. Ultra Athlete Summit was there,
Oh, yeah.
which was super fun. All the ultra guys are cool. Then they had an RC truck race, which was
I saw some pictures of that.
cool. It was so fun. Like, honestly, like, going into it, I was like, this is gonna be kind of weird. Like, I know Chris is probably gonna listen to this. Chris Jones from Ultra, he was in charge of it. I was like, I don't know how I feel about shooting like RC truck racing. But then, like, the second we rolled up to the course, I was like, this is gonna be a blast. And then it was so much fun. And like, I was editing the video last night, and like, I haven't had that much fun editing in a long time, because it's like, you see these elite athletes driving a race truck, and all of a sudden it's just like, just off the trail, like rolling, crashing into me as the cameraman and everything. Like, it was fun. Like, it's hard. Like, these guys can run fast, but then you put an RC car in front of them, and it's like,
Wait, what were the rules of the race?
it was like a relay race. So have you ever been on the Pipe Dream Trail in
No.
Moab? Okay, so like, started this Pipe Dream Trail, and there's a little loop. It was some like Jeep road or something. It ended up being like 5 laps. So there's 5 people on the team. And so you'd have like, whatever, like, I don't know. I can't think of anybody's names right now. So 5 runners from Ultra, whatever,
Right.
and they're ambassadors and whatever. And they'd each do a lap on this course, and it was like a timed thing. So the cumulative time,
Right.
with the lowest time obviously was the winner.
So you were
And
running with your truck. Is
Yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah.
They're just
it's-
running behind it with their controllers. I saw some
That's why I
pictures.
saw that.
Yeah,
but
so
that-
it's running, and you have to like not trip because it's trail running
and control the.
and go around
the
this
RC.
course. Yeah, and then
That's
come
cool.
back in and hand it off to your next teammate, and then they do the same loop.
Plus, you got to be taking your nutrition supplement, your gels, trying to
Yeah.
fumble through your thumb controls.
You got to warm up and everything.
You gotta warm
stretch
up.
out the thumbs.
Good point. Don't want to get rid of that.
Got some cramping going on.
Yeah.
The big old thumb meat right there.
It was funny because Jason Schlarb was like really into it. Like, he bought a car like, I don't know if it was a couple months ago or something, and him and his son Felix were practicing for this event. Like, they had been out running and like training, and he did fairly well. Like,
Now, did
crushed
Ultra
it.
supply the cars?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was say
Yeah.
it could be unfair if someone got one from Walmart and someone went to a
Got
hobby
one,
shop.
like a souped up one.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
ran
We
on
could put it on
ethanol.
nitrous. Yeah.
all like souped up.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think so. Chris Jones kind of races competitively, semi-competitive. I don't know.
Like
I don't know
RC
the
cars?
like. Yeah,
Oh my.
like they've gone to a few events and he puts them on, and Ultra sponsors a few people with shoes and stuff. But I think the company is called Axial Racing or something, and they do RC cars, and so they supplied all the cars.
Wow.
And then a local graphics company, I can't think of the name right now, made Ultra graphics for the vehicles.
That's so cool.
And so the day before the summit, Chris and I were in the hotel room, and he's putting on these little graphics on
Yeah.
the RC cars and everything, getting them all ready and prepped and everything, and it was fun.
Now-
I'll show you guys the video when it comes out.
Now they
That
need the
sounds
drone race. That's what I want to see.
Oh
be fun.
man.
That'd be
It'd
awesome.
be a lot
That's
more
hard.
dangerous with the spinning razor blades. Like,
Yeah.
Just make it a drone death race.
drone tech. Sign me up.
Forks on the side.
The DDR. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And then there's always a lot of stuff that comes up. Like going back to Western, might be going to Hard Rock, might be doing something else a little different this year for that. And then going to Peñagolosa in Spain with Hayden Hawks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just crewing him, but we're probably going to shoot some stuff for fun. We're going to be there for a couple weeks.
Okay.
Just kind of training and shooting. So
Is it hard not to shoot when you go places, though? I mean, like you say, no, we're not going there, but can you see yourself just putting hours of shooting together because of where you're at?
Yeah. Like, you ever heard of FOMO? Like, fear of missing out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
In the filmmaking world, there's FOMAS, like fear of missing a shot. And like,
I like that.
and I hate it. Like, when I go somewhere, I don't have my camera with me. And I'm
Right.
like, oh my gosh, like this sunset's gorgeous, or I just see something amazing and it just kills me, which is probably why I take a million pictures when I'm like out running and stuff. But I always wish I had like a real camera with me and all my equipment. So
That's when you just kind of close your eyes, turn around, and keep going. So I didn't see
it's
that.
hard. Like, I have to do that sometimes where I'm just like, okay, like there's gonna be more pretty sunsets, or like it's gonna snow again in Zion someday. Like,
Yeah.
True.
You got to run on like gray, cloudy, yucky days just so you don't feel like you're going to miss anything.
yeah, exactly. Like, don't do sunset runs, because then I feel like I'm not getting a shot.
Are you going to be shooting over at OCC at all, or are you just there to help Charlie?
A little bit. I might be working on some Hoka projects and some
Okay.
other things, maybe some ultra stuff too, but that's all up in the air. Like, generally, like freelance and everything, things don't really get nailed down till like a month or so before. But I'm definitely pitching a lot of stuff right now, and it could change. I might not even do anything for those two brands. I might shoot for somebody else, and if not, like, at least I get to go over there and enjoy it, and probably just shoot stuff for fun because it's Chamonix and it's gorgeous.
Well, if you need anybody to help pack, 'cause I know how much gear you have, there's a couple guys sitting here that would be more than happy to
We'd be interns.
be your entourage of some sort.
Entourage
your
interns,
Sherpas,
right.
if you will.
Sherpas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could pack. I mean, we're pretty strong.
Yeah.
We're working. Here's a gym.
We've
We're
been
here.
healthy for a month, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we can pack things. We got strong backs and legs for now.
For now.
For now. So do you have a website or something, like people that may not know your stuff, or maybe
How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, how do people get a hold of you if they have a project or looking something like that?
Instagram or Facebook is usually the best way.
Okay.
You just search my name, like my Facebook, Instagram, everything is just Derrick Lytle. It's nothing fancy or crazy.
Derrick
Yeah.
space. So it's the second word, last name Lytle. Am I right?
Glad you put that space in there.
You
Just,
nailed it.
well, some people mess it up, and I just want to be clear, right?
That's true. And email's the same thing too.
Okay.
So, and you did say my last name right. I
Lytle.
think 95% of people get it wrong.
Well, you know what?
Little.
Everyone says Little.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. I've never met you in person until we were in St. George, I don't know, a couple months ago. And we were there early, and I think it was Turtle. I heard him say, Lytle, and I just swung my head around, and I'm like, that's him?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's like, that dude's like 19,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it was...
I thought Turtle's yelling at him.
He yells at
Like,
people.
like a fatherly type of yell. Like, get over here and finish your chores type of yelling.
Yeah, secret Turtle's my dad.
Yeah.
And, I just changed my name to.
Sorry.
I don't blame you for that. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but we come back. We're going to talk to you more about the running aspect of what you do and kind of how those mixed and then what you got scheduled coming up. So, yeah, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back with Derrick. 56% of Health IQ customers save between 4 and 33% on their life insurance. Other life insurance companies calculate your policy rates based on your nearest age, not your actual age. And rates increase as you get older. Lock in the best rate possible by getting a free quote today. Learn more and get a free quote at healthiq.com/trailmanners or mention promo code TrailManners when you talk to a Health IQ agent. Now let's get back to the show. All right, we are back here with Derrick Lytle with the Trail Manners podcast. We talked the first part a little bit about photography, videography. There's a few questions I forgot to ask, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Just kind of real quick, I'm going to touch on it, though, because it's important. Have you noticed a growth in these races? Because I was watching the Why by Billy Yang, and we talked about this the other day on our single track session. Just the amount of people with cameras seems to be through the roof. Like before, when I would run, it's like if you saw one person, it was usually somebody you knew, right? And now it's like there's just people all over, right? Have you seen a huge growth in that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more. I think the sport's getting a little more popular, and obviously it's still very niche and everything, but it's getting more popular. And then I think photography and filmmaking in itself is getting more popular, partly because like things are so accessible. You can buy a drone for well under $1,000 that shoots decent footage. You can get a decent camera, and then it's just kind of trendy to be an outdoor photographer. I think.
Yeah.
Like you've heard of like Camp 4 and these guys from Salt Lake that shoot really good climbing films and everything. Like they've kind of made it, or Chris Burkhardt and these guys have made it trendy to be a photographer again. Where like growing up, it was like, oh, photographers, these nerdy guys, and maybe like generally it is, but it's becoming cool like with Instagram and everything too. And so everyone wants to go get these like banger shots of like their favorite athletes out running or climbing or something, and just even if it's just for their Instagram or something, like everyone wants to kind of get famous through photography now, which is kind of interesting. But I was noticing at Western States last year that up on the escarpment, it was insanely busy. There were more people shooting, and there were also just more fans too. Like the first year I went, there were a few people up there. It was Matt and maybe Billy was there, I don't remember, and a few people. And it was crazy this year. Like, it was almost like you had to take turns to get your shots and coordinate with the other filmmakers and the photographers and stuff. And which is good and bad. Definitely growing pains and everything. And I think if you learn how to work well with people, like it's not that big of a deal. Like when I was up there, I was talking to some of the other shooters, and we coordinated like who we were shooting and like what we needed, so that way we weren't getting each other's shots and everything. But then again, it's kind of cool to have like to see like Jim or these guys running up the escarpment, and then there's people cheering them on. It's more of like a European feel, where all the races in Europe are just lined up the mountains with people, and you don't see that so much over here. And it's the bigger races are getting more like that, which is cool. Like it's cool to see people involved and excited about the sport, and maybe just getting their runs in to go spectate a mountain race, which is cool. I really like it.
So do you see any problems moving forward with people doing shots, doing like PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs? Do you see that's next step, right? That stay clean photographer to get that money shot where you're sprinting, doing
carrying 50 pounds of gear,
a vertical K to get there first.
See these photographers running faster than Killian or something,
right.
while carrying a Movi with a camera on it.
Yep. So I see that. The next evolution. You guys start testing. You're gonna have to start an alliance.
Start testing. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Shoot clean. Call it
Shoot clean.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Shoot clean.
We'll start that right now.
A
Instagram page. Shoot clean.
Yeah.
But I think I've seen a rise in film festivals as well.
Yeah.
It seems like, here in Ogden, we are a hub for film festivals. We just have Fly Fishing Film Festival, the Banff Film Festival. You've got the Trail Running Film Festival James Varner puts together. You've got the Trails in Motion Film Festival. I just see more film festivals popping up, and it gives these up-and-coming filmmakers an opportunity to kind of show their stuff and maybe get a couple bucks out of it. Have you entered in any? Have you have any desire to put in any?
Not a huge desire, honestly. Like
unless it's Sundance.
Sundance, or win something big,
If you go to Sundance, you got to wear your North Face baggies, though.
You do. North Face basketball shorts.
Yeah, just red carpet it. What's up? What's up, Kevin Spacey? Check these out, bro.
I don't know. Like film festivals are cool. It's always fun to see what other people are working on. Like sometimes I get so focused and involved on what I'm shooting that don't really see what other people are doing. But it's cool to see what other people are working on, and just different styles of shooting, different athletes, different people. And it's art in the end, and it's cool to see people's creativity come out and how it's expressed through film or photo or whatever. So I guess the more film festivals, the better. And if people want to enter into them, that's great. Like, I'm sure I will in the future and everything. And some films I've worked on have been in film festivals and things, but I haven't necessarily entered something like directed or produced by me or whatever in a festival.
Do you have your own logo?
Just my face.
No, not the money. That's the money shot logo.
It's
It's
money
like,
maker,
check it out,
that's
money
right.
maker.
As we're doing a podcast, podcast face.
People can't see that, but we'll make sure they do. So here at Trail Manners, we promote both photography and videography. So we do that once a week. We have our Woody Footies every Sunday, where people post photos. Where'd your feet take you?
Oh yeah.
And we've got some up and coming photographers you should check out. We got Megan Martinez. His one's always on point. If you're looking for a little more lull in the Midwest, we got Richard Allen.
Oh my gosh.
We've got some really good. Jason Bernheisel, he's got called the Bernheisel effect. We titled that. He's got really great
arm extension.
Yeah, he's got like go-go gadget arms.
Yeah, he does.
Stretch Armstrong.
Yes.
You should check that out. And then on Wednesdays, we have Take Us With You Wednesday. We do videography. So we're encouraging people to be creative and explore and share. So if you ever need to, maybe need someone to work with, it's like, I need some help, just go there. You can find somebody.
Totally.
Yeah.
To be totally serious, like I look at a lot of stuff like that, and like I do a lot of location scouting through people's running profiles, which sounds weird, but like if someone goes and bags a rad peak and then they're up there at sunset, I'm like, well, I want to know what it looks like at sunset, but I've never been to X and X location at this time of year. And it's like, oh, that's what it's going to look like. Then that becomes like a potential to shoot.
Right.
And so like I use Instagram and like just people's selfies and whatever to find
He's totally stalking.
locations to shoot.
I like it.
See, that's
I'm
what,
an Insta stalker. Like,
see, because you called it scouting. It's stalking.
It's totally
stalking,
stalking.
scouting.
Yeah, we had Man Bun Run interviewed us. He called it research because he's a lawyer. We call it stalking.
Yeah,
If
we don't sugarcoat it.
yeah, it's stalking. It doesn't matter how you sugarcoat it, how you spell it.
Yeah.
You know, air quotes. It's stalking.
See, I got friended by Shalise Morgan the other day, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And so I had to do a little bit of stalking.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I kind of know who she is.
Yeah.
And I was like, this woman has run a lot.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get through my stalking.
Yeah, it does, and you lose time. So
Yeah.
stalking. You're stalking people. It's cool. Our Instagram people don't mind if you stalk their stuff.
No.
If you ever need a great idea of Lake Blanche,
Yeah.
Megan will get that.
Yeah, she can help you with that for sure.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny how like I was talking about this with somebody at Red Hot the other day. How like you become friends with people on social media and it's like you know all these things about them. Like you might follow them on Instagram and Strava, see them in like Wrangler group or whatever, and you know everything about their training, their injuries and everything, but you don't actually know them in person.
No.
And it's so weird. It's like such a I don't know, first world like modern day thing, I guess.
Yeah, you
kind
don't.
of run out of things to talk about after you go through. Oh, where you been training? Oh, yeah. Well, how's that injury? And then when that's done,
Then
it's
they,
like,
they kind of
And
freak
you already
out.
know the answers too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I saw you ran in whatever Park City the other day and hurt your ankle.
yeah.
Yep. That's
Glad-
the conversation.
Glad you got away from that
It's there.
news. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how it works. It's those quick, or hey, man, it's weird to see you with clothes on. I'm going to go back to that one all the time. She always see me in running clothes. Hey, you got clothes on. They're like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Don't be telling people about that.
All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit because we do want to talk about running. Like, did you get into running through photography kind of as a means to explore or get around quicker? Did you run in Overton, like the Overton High School cross-country state 1A champs?
1A.
I don't know, right? It's got to be close if you've never heard of it.
We're 3A.
3A?
Oh,
Okay.
that's a big school.
That is a big school.
It wasn't that big.
We're trying to help you out here. So how did you get into the running side of what you do now?
Well, I guess I played soccer and stuff all growing up. Like before we moved to Southern Nevada, played soccer in California and everything my brothers and I did. Then we moved to Nevada, played soccer and stuff for high school, but never was really into running itself. And then in college, I was just bored. Like I was just working one summer, not taking classes, and a couple of roommates went out running. And I was like, oh, I want to go for a run. And went for a run, and it sucked, and then it sucked the next time. And then I had a roommate that was doing a half marathon, just the Snow Canyon half, and he convinced me to do it, so I went and did it. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. Super painful. I can't walk down the stairs now, but let's keep going. And then just evolved from there. And then I lived pretty close to the Bonneville Shoreline Trail in Provo and just found it and started running on that trail. Then it just evolved and then ran Antelope Island and Buffalo Run and stuff. And just the community was really supportive and everyone was really cool. So I was like, I like this. Like people are just nice and it's like go out and run and just have a good time, or it was more of a social thing. And then I was like, oh, like I want to do a 50K. I want to do bigger races. And then the photography kind of morphed its way into that too.
Kind of.
So it's cool. Like I love it. And it's definitely a huge part of my life now. And most of my good friends are just through running, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's cool. I like it.
Because you have a race coming up. Now, you did Rufa, right? Which Joel was there doing timing.
I was timing.
He was super unfriendly from what everybody's just throwing
I was-
emails at me. He was so
was
grizzly.
focused.
You gotta do the timing. It's important.
Yeah.
It is
can't
important.
mess it up.
He's pretty meticulous.
I am.
So how did you do? Which one did you do at Rufa?
I did the 12-hour.
12. And how many laps did you get, or peaks, or whatever?
7.
That's a lot.
That's stout. What's vert on that? 7.
So it ends up being around 18,000 with 42 miles, I think. About, yeah. And then it was all icy and snowy, obviously, which sucked.
Yeah.
But that's the race, though. So
That is the race.
But you use that kind of training, though, right?
yeah,
Because you've got a race coming up at the end of March.
Yeah, I'm racing Georgia Death Race, first 100K.
Nice.
So it should be interesting.
Well, you picked an easy 100K.
He did.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's like, why not?
it's all runnable. And
Yep.
It's just called Death Race for fun,
I think that's just to scare you. Yeah. We've never heard anything bad about it. Not bad and negative, but like that's a brutal sucker.
I heard most people PR their 100K on it.
Yeah. I'd like to see that list.
I think it's a little longer than 100K too.
Yeah, it varies. It's like, oh, it's 62 or 74. It's
Yeah.
oh, how long
Somewhere
is
in
this?
that area.
That's why I love trail running. It's a rough average. It depends, right?
100K-ish.
Yeah, 100 to 150K. That's all it is.
50K.
Yeah.
It's like an out and back.
Yeah,
exactly.
We don't tell you where to turn around. You just go. So how do you feel getting ready for that? We're about a month out. How do you feel? Kind of feel pretty good doing Rufa, all these other things in?
Yeah, I feel good. Like my training's been pretty consistent, even with work and everything being kind of crazy over the winter. And it's been dry, which is pros and cons to that. We're not going to have a lot of water, and it's going to be, I don't know, smoky summer, I think.
Yeah.
But except for right now, I guess it's dumping. But
It looks smoky.
It does look smoky right now.
Yeah, it's probably what summer's going to look like too, just warmer. But training's been good, though. I've been getting a lot of vert, getting a little faster. And then Rufa was kind of like a test to see how well I could do as far as like a training race for it. And getting 42 miles with that much vert was good. Like it was a big improvement over last year. So I feel pretty confident, feel pretty healthy right now, and training is good. So I'm excited to go out there and do it. It's the first 100K though, like I was saying. So I don't know. Don't really know what to expect. Like I ran a 50 before and a lot of stuff around that distance, but actual 100K is going to be a little bit different. So.
Well, I mean, I imagine you run a lot too when you're filming, right? I mean, it's just like you might go out for 5 mile like loop or section, but you probably run quite a bit more than that trying to get the shots and moving around and everything else. So that's kind of training, right?
Yeah, it ends up being like a lot of hiking. Like at Hard Rock last year, just like a few days before the race, I did 50 miles with like, I don't know how much vert. It was like 10 or 15,000 feet. And all that was with camera gear. So it's slow hiking, but it's just a lot of strength training, I guess. And so like actual climbing, I do really well. And right now I'm just kind of trying to get the leg speed up. Girlfriend's a lot faster than I am. She always drops me when we do track workouts and things. But, but then I drop her on the climbs, though, so it all evens out.
Works out.
But it is kind of interesting way of training, though, because it's like being so busy shooting all the time and working on trail films. Like it's kind of weird because like you need to get out and train, but at the same time, like a lot of work is training in itself. Like shooting with Zach Bitter last month, like went out and did a workout with him and ran with the camera most of the time. So I think we ran like 10 miles or something. So I don't know. It's like running, but it's also not really training, but it is training. And it's interesting. You just kind of have to, I don't know, just roll with it, I guess.
Well, I mean, you figure time on your feet and mileage. I mean, it is training. It's different. You know, like you said, it's maybe not a track workout or vert, but I guess it is kind of hill repeats if you're just going to much climbing and
especially
up and
if you
down.
got like gear on your back.
Yeah, the gear makes a big difference too. Like just hiking up steep stuff with that much gear, like it's not like it's one camera or something. It's always
not like you've got a hydration vest on with all that gear in there, right?
Or Sherpas.
I mean, you've got like a big backpack, right?
Yeah, it's full backpack with a couple cameras, and
it doesn't exactly like expand like a hydration vest would, right?
Really, well, it's like you have all camera gear, but then it's like you're gonna be on the mountains all day. You also have to bring food and water. Plus, if you're out there with another runner that's maybe modeling for you, you have to carry some stuff for them.
And change of clothes.
Yeah, you never really know what conditions you're going to be.
Wet wipes, squirrel's nut butter.
Wet wipes.
Just whatever. Hey, man, you got to look sharp. Billy
look
Yang doesn't look shiny for no reason.
I think that they greased him up before they got into every aid station.
I did hear in one part of the
behind the scenes video.
I did hear in one, they went into one, he goes, he needs some squirrel's nut butter. And I thought, man, they just need someone with a glove. Just slap a glove, put in front of the camera, like, here we go. Yeah, that snapping noise. I'm like, we could make these films more entertaining.
I think so.
If they had Joel and I doing some of the voiceovers even.
The voiceovers.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like
we should do that one time. Like watch a film and then do like the mystery
science thing.
Yeah,
3000.
We should do that. It'd be so much fun.
I could do that. That would be a blast.
Yep. Have a beer or two beforehand. Just
that could be the premium version that people pay.
The Patreon version.
Right. You have to pay for it.
You got to make some money eventually.
Eventually. Exactly.
So give us an idea then, average. I know it's different on the shoot and where you're at, but what do you say your pack average weighs when you're doing these shoots, when you're climbing or whatever?
It kind of varies. Like if it's filmmaking or photography, if I'm shooting film, it's usually like 50 plus pounds.
Jeez.
because it's just the cameras and then batteries and that. But then it's like, okay, we have to bring like a Ronin, which is a gimbal with a monitor that has extra batteries, like extra hard drives, like a laptop, like and other things to charge your phone, because you have to use your phone for so many applications for whatever. It just adds up really fast. Like you don't really think about it. Oh, then it's like audio equipment too. Like it's more and more things, and in itself, it's not that bad. Like sometimes I've taken like a camera in my UD pack to go for runs, and it's like this small camera with one lens, like isn't a big deal. But when it's 5 or 6 lenses that each weigh a few pounds, and then bodies plus the batteries plus hard drives, like it all starts adding up. And then by the time you pick it up, you're like, oh crap. Oh, then tripods. And then if it's time lapse gear, like time lapse setup is easily 20, 30 pounds. And
you need an intern.
Yeah, you need a couple. You need one with your video and one with your photography, and then
maybe a coffee intern.
One with sub sound. You need some like sub sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh, sandwiches.
Some hoagies.
Yeah. Hoagies.
Yeah, like
that. Have an intern just to make food for me. Like,
yeah.
You can just have a backpack full of like water and food. And
yeah, exactly.
You'd have to have one of those red and white plaid blankets.
Tablecloths. Yeah,
tablecloth.
Yep.
You have a little table on his back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, be up with the French press, like brewing mate or something.
I like it.
Yeah. Find one of those. I'll
there
carry
needs to
the
be
video
hierarchy,
gear.
right?
Yeah.
Where the videographer intern, gets first dibs with the French press.
Yeah. Now we're building this business quick. We got to get you a logo.
Yes.
Some swag.
Yep.
Do you have any other races that regardless how Georgia Death Race goes, is there any other races?
Well, when it gets top 2, Western States, obviously.
Yeah.
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 Punch the golden ticket.
Yeah, punch that golden ticket. You'll be rolling right over there.
You'll be like,
see about that.
Oh, guys, I'm not going to be able to shoot Western, but you can follow me around.
That's right. Exactly. He's going to be calling
with
us. I need you guys to carry all my camera equipment.
Call my interns over here.
That's right.
Yeah. Speed dial. Is there other races you'd like to do? Maybe not just this year, but in general. What is Western on the list? Hard Rock? Is there any other? You haven't done 100. Is there 100 you want to do?
Yeah, in the future.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking with Mike McKnight about doing the New Franklin Mountains 200.
Oh, down in Texas, right?
Yeah, it was a really cool mountains, actually. Like, I know Texas doesn't really have a lot of, quote unquote, good trails, but those mountains are gnarly, and they're super pretty, deserty, and they're steep and rocky. So I think that's going to be a good race. Rob is a great race director. So I'm interested in that. Not saying I'm going to do it, but
kind of did, though.
I kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go. It's on the radar for sure.
We'll take that snippet of this show and we'll just keep playing it throughout the year.
Yeah. Just send it to him by voicemail.
Yeah, send it to him. Something about interns and then running in Texas.
Being like DMs on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's right.
Franklin Mountains 200.
Yeah, that's coming up, right? It's in January, right? So you should be almost ready.
Yeah, I want to, do something longer, some longer stuff. I want to do Tour de Gens. I think that'd be cool. It just looks brutal. I guess I'm into masochistic type stuff. I think some stage racing would be fun. Like
I kind of want to do one of those, actually.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Like I've shot the Grand de Grand down in southern Utah for a few years now, and it's fun. Like it's a different type of racing. Like how you go out every day is different. The strategy involved in it, where you're carrying your own calories and thinking about how to like really pace yourself for the whole week, as opposed to just 24 hours or 10 hours or something. Plus, you're carrying everything with you, too. It just seems like a different type of race. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like training for it and everything would be different. Plus, it's fun, too. Like, you hang out at camp with everybody and you get to know a lot of people really well.
Yeah, I'd like to do one of those. So if anybody wants me, they can pay for my you pick it. I'll go. Stage race.
G to G. Check it out.
Yep, in. Maybe.
Count me in.
Because their stage races are expensive. It's just way out of my price range.
Yeah. I think Grand's like $3,000.
Yeah, bank wouldn't roll me. I went in and they don't have like a loan for race entries. Like I'm like, which line do I pick? I don't need a personal loan. I need a race entry loan. And they're like, yeah, you're out. Sorry.
There's no collateral for
Yeah,
that.
perfect credit score.
Yeah.
And like,
It's like, sorry. I'm like, this is my credit score. Here's my ACT scores. Here's my GPA. What can I get?
I don't know. I want to do Hard Rock eventually too. It's a fun race. And like shooting a lot of events, I want to go out and do those. But it kind of just depends on work schedules too.
Yeah.
Like if I'm usually pretty busy, so it's kind of sign up last minute for things. And generally I don't sign up for races so far in advance. Like with Georgia, I signed up. The lottery was last year.
Yeah.
And put in for it. And I usually don't do that because I'm always like, well, what if a shoot comes up? And like that's how I make my livelihood. So I can't really justify spending a bunch of money to run a race to not make money type thing. And so
We know a way that you can make some money.
win.
Besides, yeah, that's a good one. May 5th,
Oh yeah,
you can win some cash.
What's May 5th?
it's the Ogden Trail Running Festival, the Gib Wallace race. It's only 10 miles.
Yeah.
First place $300
Really?
for a 10-mile trail race on the BST.
Oh, nice. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Yeah, Ricky Gates might be racing, so
Crap.
but he's you never know. He might go out Friday night.
I'm
He may
sure
not be
he's
ready to
gonna
go
out Friday
outside.
night.
Go get him super hammered Friday night.
I don't think it's us getting him
I
that
think
way.
it's gonna be flipped.
It might be the reversal.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Joe will be at the race with like big old sunglasses on,
Like super hungover. I'm so nervous.
ice
about
pack
that.
on the back of our necks.
Yeah. Calling in sick, dude. I can't do that. I'm sorry. You get to run the show by yourself.
That'd be fun though. I'll have to check
Yeah,
it out.
you should.
Yeah, you should be. It's gonna be a fun weekend. Let me ask you this: is there an athlete out there that you would love to work with that maybe you haven't worked with? Is there an athlete like that'd be fun, or I'd really like to work with this person? Present company excluded.
I
of
mean,
course.
once you get your 3-inch
Yeah,
splits,
besides you guys.
Yeah,
you
once
get
we
the
get-
3-inch splits, dude. He's all over
I'm working
you.
on my timeline right now.
Yeah,
How it's
I've been
gonna
so
unveil.
distracted this whole interview because I'm just imagining.
I know, right? You just keep looking at like his nether region.
So that's why I'm wearing puffy coats. I don't want people to know how much weight I've lost, right? It's like I'm gonna wear puffies and pants, and then when the reveal comes, people like when we go to Red Mountain next week, I'm nervous because that's gonna be like the first reveal,
oh yeah,
and people are gonna point and they're like, "Wow, he's
Who is
lost
that guy?
weight."
Yeah. Do I know him?
Yeah, but when the reveal comes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm nervous for. So I might have to wear pants and puffy coats till
we're
like
gonna
July.
do that Vaquero Loco. We'll do the reveal at Vaquero.
Oh, because I'm volunteering. I'll just work the finish line with 3-inch splits.
Yeah, there
maybe
you go.
maybe
Just
some knee highs,
stretching a bunch, you know.
some knee high socks.
Just for recovery, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't wear those for fun. Just with the two big stripes on top. You know how that rolls.
Dude, you're like a skirt away from like hooker. With those knee-high socks.
All you need is a pair of scissors on those 3-inch split. Just cut the bottoms out, and you're
know,
there, right? Just
Easy access.
Yeah, no breeze, and I'm all right.
It might be a failed business. I don't know. Like,
You'd be surprised the freaky deekies out there.
That's right.
that's a good point. We're in Ogden. So.
That's true.
Don't sell myself short here. Right?
Dude,
Come
there's
on.
always a market.
I'm trying to increase my self-confidence because I'm
Right.
so low on myself. I'm like, this could be the next level thing for me.
All right.
Like, I have a website idea for you because you're going to build my website.
Okay. I'm a little nervous about that. Never thought I'd be asked to make that type of site.
You'll never know. That's a different market, but you'll be good. So yeah, is there an athlete you think you would like to work with? Maybe you haven't. That'd be fun.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of
Yeah.
anybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should cut this part out.
Bad answer.
No, it's okay.
It's his one.
No,
we put
what
him
that
on the
means
spot.
is he's worked with all of them.
I mean, you've worked with a lot of good athletes, so
Yeah,
I mean,
like, I
one
think
project or another.
It's always fun to work with new people too. So even if it's like someone I've never worked with, don't know a lot about, like it's fun to work with them because, especially in the outdoor world, everyone's really cool.
Yeah.
Like getting to know Zach really well and Nicole, like they're both solid runners, obviously, but they're just both great people too. And like getting to know Hayden, like just kind of just through shooting and running, like we've become really good friends through that. And then I don't know, like Jason Schlarb was like a super nice guy. Like,
Yeah.
Like Ian, all these people are just really, really cool. And like maybe like going into them, it's like, oh yeah, they're just whatever, around a normal person. But then you get to know them, and they become more respectable the more you know them. And so I don't know. And maybe it sounds kind of bad, but like, or maybe it's a good thing, but like I kind of just look at runners as just normal people. Like yeah, you're a pro athlete, but you're just another normal person, and that's really what they are. Like you meet someone, it's like putting them on a pedestal is kind of weird because they're just a normal dude. Like
We are pretty normal, actually, I think, Joel.
you guys
Yeah.
are just totally normal guys. Like
That's why our chairs sit up higher than yours. Just stink.
that's true.
No, it's funny you say that, though, because we talk about it all the time, because we've had some guests on the show that, you'd put on, people, myself included, would put on those pedestals, right? Like, man, we're getting this athlete on the show. And then you meet them, and it's like, wait a minute, you're just like, I could hang out with you, and it's like,
Right.
I wouldn't know who you were, right? If I didn't know your name, we would be buddies, right? Because they are just so down to earth. I mean, I know we talk about it too. There's always one or two out there that might be the opposite or different fringe, but overall, it's just solid people.
Yeah, and I think that's like, just the cool thing about it. Like the sport itself is pretty low key, but like shooting climbing too, like climbers are the same way. Where like I've gone to climbing shoots, and I'm not really involved in climbing, and then like after the shoot goes on, I'm like, wow, this person's a really big deal, but they're just like a normal person. It's like, yeah, they have kids, they have a girlfriend or a wife or something, and they climb hard, but then they just like to hang out afterwards. And it's like, I'm not, I don't know, a professional athlete by any means, but we have a lot of the same interests, and it's like you can just talk about everything. Like, just because someone's like a professional athlete doesn't mean that they're different necessarily than you. Like, they still have the same concerns in life, the same worries. Everything's kind of the same. So I just think it's something good to like keep in mind. Like, if you want to go, like, if you see some athlete you really like care about or follow a lot, like if you're gonna go talk to them, just treat them like a normal person. Like, 'cause that's really what they are. Like, they're really no different than you.
It's true. So. It's very true. Couldn't word that any better.
You've been around quite a bit lately, going to different races, different shoots. Are there any up and coming athletes you're just like, dang, that person's gonna blow it up?
Who do you see as the next Hayden Hawks or the next? Who else we got? That's just busting it right now.
Courtney DeWalter.
Yeah, Courtney DeWalters.
It.
Yeah, who's under the radar?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that's kind of the hard thing with running is especially now, there's so many fast people getting involved in it. I can't remember the guy's name. He's a local Salt Lake guy, but he won Red Hot last week.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Anthony?
I think it is Anthony.
Yeah.
Costales.
Yeah, he set the course record.
Yeah.
Yeah, he crushed Hayden's record, and he's like mainly a road runner, and he's just solid. So like some guys like that, I think there's gonna be a lot of like unknown, at least in the trail world, road runners coming over to trail racing. They're just gonna demolish it, like just break records left and right. And we saw that even with the 33K, where what's his name right now? I'm totally spacing it. He was an ultra runner. Crap, what's his name?
I'm drawing a blank too. I helped you on the first one.
Yeah.
I gave you Anthony. We call him Tony.
Tyler McCandless.
Okay.
McCandless. I don't know how to say his last name. He mainly just runs road and like kind of shorter distance road, like 10 half marathon or whatever. And he crushed the half marathon or the 33K, like broke the course record by like 11 minutes, I think. And he hardly ever runs trails. And it just, I think, goes to show there's a lot of room. For new people, but also room for records to fall too.
We were just talking about that the other day.
Thursday. We said this is the course record year.
This year, a lot of them are going to fall.
Yeah.
For different reasons. Fast people, more competition up front, different things.
Well, that, and I think people are getting a lot more serious about it. And like even just in the few years, I guess, I don't know how many years I've been involved in trail running, like it all started out like, yeah, we go run, like people like Anton and Joe Grant, these guys, which are great runners, but their training is a lot more lax and like, let's go enjoy time in the mountains and then go race. And now it's like, let's have specific workouts and regimens just like road and track racing. And that's carrying over to trail running. And then you see these records start falling and just falling more and more.
Right.
So I think we'll see a lot more of that. And I think at Western this year, could be the same thing. Like
we talked about that. Yeah.
Cody, Jim, Tim, these guys are just
on the women's side too. With
and
Courtney,
the women.
Joel's got a woman in top 10.
I do.
Period.
Oh, I totally can
I
see
think
that.
Courtney or
Camille.
both of those can go top 10. Easy.
Yeah, if Courtney can just, I don't know, Courtney's strong, obviously.
Yep.
She's.
Can you imagine her in like something like a singlet and like normal shorts where it's like wind resistance?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good like half hour faster.
Maybe that's why she
If
trains
didn't
this way.
play a few like
Maybe
some hoops or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
She probably has
hoops on
those.
the course.
She probably has those mesh shorts that are soggy wet for more weight, and so when she's ready for an A race, she just boom,
Just drops it.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm ready.
Yeah, and then
I don't think that she has that comfort level in her.
Yeah,
She's
maybe
a school
not.
teacher.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, but then Camille too, obviously, is like, Charlie and I were talking about this the other day. Where like, Camille's just like a huge inspiration for women right now too.
Yeah.
Where she's busted so many records and just consistently all last year that I think as more women see that, they're gonna become more like, just you get through that mental break of like, where it's in the past it's kind of like, oh, we can't break records because we're women, but now it's like, just because we're a female doesn't mean we can't run just as fast as the men.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of women can, like, and I think that's a great thing to see kind of the genders become a little more like, I don't know, like equal as far as like trail running skills and just running in general, because there's tons of fast women that are very dedicated and focused just as much as the men, and they all deserve just as much respect too, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah, man.
So-
Blows me away.
But should be a good year though.
I'm hoping so.
I
I'm
think
excited.
it's gonna be a really good year.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit, because we were down in Zion. Kind of at the forefront was public lands. That was like before the voting, before the announcements. everything. And you're a huge advocate of this. And we've seen it through social media, our conversation with you last time, kind of flipping the switch. It's a serious subject, especially here in Utah. It's been such a hot topic, probably more than a lot of places, obviously. Tell us kind of your feelings on that, being close to it, being a desert guy, right? Being a photographer, an outdoors person. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I guess like in general, I think that public lands they should be important to everybody. Just as Americans in general, and just anyone in the world, I guess, like we all own it in a sense and need to respect it and take care of these areas, and like they should be available to everybody, like not just someone that has money or whatever. It's like even if you make no money every year, you should be able to enjoy public lands because they're yours just by being alive and just being on the planet and whatever. But and on the other hand, it's like if you're gonna use them, you should be responsible and take care of them. And I think as like trail runners and climbers and hikers, anyone that goes out and just enjoys those areas, like it'd be really sad to like not be involved in taking care of them. Like if you're out enjoying the national forest, but then don't ever go volunteer or pick up trash or anything, then I think it's sad. Like you're just taking advantage of something, and it's very selfish. So as an outdoor community, we should be involved as much as we can. And obviously you can't go out every day and just do whatever. Like you can't always be there, but put in some time. Like if you're going to go trail run on public lands, like I don't know, however many hours a week, 30 hours a week, you should at least invest a couple of those into maintaining the trails or picking up trash or some sort of education to get more people involved. And I think the more people that are involved, the better in public lands.
Well, and it's that, and you're passing it down, right? Because we talk about in trail running a lot. It's like you have this hierarchy of these came before us, these people came before us. But if people don't know, hey, I can pick up this garbage, or I can do whatever to help. If they don't know that, they may not. They might just be oblivious to it. Oh, someone else takes care of it for me. Someone's paid to do that. And I think as ambassadors of trail running or just public lands in general, it's just keeping that at the forefront, saying, you know what, you may not think your vote counts, or you may not think you have money to do whatever, but picking up a piece of garbage really takes little effort.
It does.
Or educating somebody. I mean, social media is so big now, you can make a huge impact just by posting something silly, a photo, a video, a statement. So I think everybody's, like you said, everybody has a responsibility.
Yeah, and I think that like you're saying, just picking up trash is something so simple we can do. Or like if you see, I don't know, like a trail sign that's knocked over, like take 5 minutes to put it back up or something, like, or reassemble a cairn or something. Like those things don't take very much time, and they can make a world of difference. And like we shouldn't necessarily have to wait for like an underfunded government program or worker to go out there and do certain things. Like if, I don't know, there's branches on the trail, just like clear those off, like stop your watch for 30 seconds and clear. Like what's the big deal? Like,
Me and Joel do that quite a bit.
Yeah,
we don't stop our watch.
We don't stop our
I don't
watch.
stop them
Yeah.
either.
Our big thing now is like if something's like leaning over and kind of block them, we kind of eye it up. We're like, can we pull that down? And it's like a game now.
Yeah, Joel, give it a go, and I bring a little bit more to the party
More
with my size, so I just jump on it usually.
Yeah.
And
if I step
can't,
back and just I'm like videoing it, right?
He's like,
It's
I'm waiting. This is gonna look
breaks,
bad.
Get the viral videos.
Exactly.
2 for 1.
Or we come back with a saw. You know, there's a section of trail that we take care of here in Ogden, from a certain location to a certain location, whether it's garbage, maintaining, whatever. And we do it pretty much every run, whether it's stuff like you mentioned on the trail, kick it over, if it's a big stick, or if there's a spider trail that's not a legitimate trail and there's sticks there to block it, and we put another stick on there if we can.
Yeah, and like, how long does that take? Like a minute, maybe?
Well, it makes you feel good too, though, right? Because you're
logging that for your trail
work.
hours.
But like you said, it's like
Volunteer hours.
what did you call it? What did you say? You called it underfunded government programs.
Right.
Think of how many people enjoy public lands compared to how many people are paid or volunteer to take care of them.
Yeah.
It's the ratio's got to be astronomical. So when you're out there, you're making such a huge difference, because then maybe that paid person can do something that's has a little more oomph to it, right? That maybe you can't do.
Yeah, and like if you can take care of kind of like the basic things like picking up trash, that means like your tax dollars and these programs can actually go into real projects instead of just, let's hire or pay someone $15 an hour to walk the trails and pick up garbage
With a stick and a nail in the end, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
like there's so many better things they could be doing when that's just like one of those like maintenance things where you can just slowly pick up some trash and just put it in your pack. Like you don't even notice it. it's not a big deal. And then, like you're saying, you feel more connected to the area too. Like if you're cleaning up something, you feel like a sense of pride, and you want to take care of it more. And then also going back, I feel like I'm rambling right now, but like posting something on social media about it, and not just being like a social media advocate, but actually like putting in man hours and doing something can make a huge difference. Like the education thing is really important. I think a lot of people just don't understand like how like fragile like public lands can be, and that they need to be involved in them to keep them like just like politically, like it's a fragile thing, but also just the environment itself is very fragile. And so educating people on how to stay involved on like the political level, but also on just like the physical level, being out there on the trails is great, and it needs to be done.
Well, it amazes me still today how many people don't know what a rock cairn is. They just think people are stacking rocks. They don't understand. So I've seen people knock them over as just kind of it's not like they were being malicious, right? They were just like kicked it over or something, a small one. And it's like, that what? And they're like, oh man, it's like they don't know. And it's just, it's hard to blame somebody that doesn't know. So that's why it's like kind of our responsibility to help teach the small stuff, right? Because I mean, Joel and I, we run this section of trail, 22nd Street, 3-4 times a week. And I can't tell how many times we've been running and Joel's come back with like a cardboard 12-pack of Keystone Light, just running, and people look at him like, dude, you okay? That's a different hydration method. But, we're just picking it up, right? And sometimes it's not glamorous. It's a sticky gel pack or something gross, or a Gatorade bottle that may not have Gatorade still in it, something like that. But,
don't really know what's in there.
But I mean, it can be. But at the same time, it is, there's nothing worse than going anywhere in public lands, the mountains, and seeing garbage. Right, and I it bothers me. It still really does.
Yeah, it's funny. Just like you see online and everything, everyone loves to like complain about it. Like, oh, this trail is so dirty. This trail is gross. Like, this trailhead's disgusting. It's like, well, instead of just taking 20 minutes to complain about it online and talk with your friends, like, just go out there and pick up some trash.
Same 20 minutes there would make such a difference, and then you could post something completely opposite.
Exactly.
Saying, hey, look what I found and took care of. Someone's like, oh, cool.
And I think locally, you guys have talked to him before, and you know him, obviously. Logan Whitford is a great example of that, where he just decided to do it, and he gets super involved, and he inspires other people to do it. So I really think there is a snowball effect that comes out of it. Like, if someone sees you carrying like a 12-pack of Keystone like on the trail, they're gonna be like, well, he's picking up trash, so like why am I not picking up trash?
Yeah,
I should do that too. And then even if they only pick up a couple gel wrappers, like if 100 people do that over the course of the day, like that's probably the whole trail.
Yeah,
like
it's a big difference.
Yeah, it's not a big
and
deal.
You mentioned the Logan thing, and we've had him on the show and even talked to him off mic, because he doesn't want credit for it. It's almost like, I don't want my name attached to that.
Well, I think that he doesn't want to be the go-to person every single time.
It's like, hey, Logan, we should schedule this to clean up. And it's like, well, you can do that without me.
Yeah.
Like he's done a great job of awareness, advocation, and he does contests, sometimes monthly.
Right.
But I think, at the end of the day, his whole thing is, no, I just want people to be aware. Right? Like, I can do it. You can do it. Take the initiative. You don't need okay. I mean, I work for Ogden Trails Network, and I run social media with them a little bit. And we'll get messages through Facebook and say, hey, I want to volunteer. I want to help clean this trail up, or I want to come cut trees back.
Right.
And we'll check, that's on Forest Service, contact them. But if it's, other things, like, yeah, let's do it. So you don't have to schedule an event around it. Just you can actually pick up garbage without asking permission. Right? No, I don't think a private landowner would care if you picked up trash if you were on his land that you have access to.
Probably not.
Like if you're running along and there's a bunch of crap along a fence, like just pick it up. Like, it needs to be put away eventually, and like it doesn't kill you to do it. And
no,
hasn't yet.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, and I don't know. I say just do it. Like, you don't necessarily need to ask for permission for things. Like, obviously, if you're going to, like, bring machinery out or whatever, you should.
Right.
But if it's just picking up garbage or educating somebody, like, just do it.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is just, and we talk about the trail running side, just that education part is so critical. And you can do in a myriad of ways, whether it's doing an event, posting something on social media. But again, I think it's the complaining about it that gets people riled up.
Right.
Right. Like you said, take 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. How can people do this? So disgusting. Well, I totally agree. Don't get me wrong, but ranting in it's not going to take care of the problem. Yeah. You could maybe be more constructive with it or just pick it up yourself. I mean, my biggest joke still, I trailhead by my house one morning. I came back from my run next to my truck because it was dark when I left. There was a Little Caesars pizza box, a condom wrapper, and an empty fifth of wild turkey. And I'm like, man, there was date night at the trailhead last night. Number one, I missed it. Number two, I got to pick this up.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of funny, but I took a picture of it, but I didn't I can't believe this. I said date night, and I just picked it up, took it home, threw it in my garbage can, right? So, I mean, it's just funny things you can find, but just take care of it. You know, don't always have to say, well, I have to go do my 8 hours of trail work for 100. I mean, you should be like, hey, I'm giving back, right?
Yeah, you should be excited about doing it. And I think that in the trail world, like trail running community, there's a lot we can learn from like other types of outdoor sports too, where climbers are really good about it. They have a lot of nonprofits that are very, very active in keeping public lands open for climbing, but which also affects other sports. Mountain bikers, like, I know like trail runners love to dog on them a lot, but they do maintain trails really well.
No, IMBA and all those.
Like even the hunting and fishing community do a really good job.
Horseback groups.
Horseback, like all these groups, like they do a lot because they care just as much as we do about public land. And like even though we have different passions in life, like I think we should all be like working together to keep their lands open and keep them clean and just open for everybody.
Well, so like our kids can enjoy them when, you know, they get older. They're not gone,
exactly.
right? Or non-accessed or whatever that could be by the time they're old enough. But no, I think that's a great point, and I think that's something that's, you know, a flip side of the serious side of our podcast, but it's such a huge thing. Most of the races are on public lands. You know, you start ruining your public lands, races go away, your favorite races go away. As a race director, we're very meticulous. After we do a race, we sweep the course 1 or 2 times, not just for markings, but, and you got to, let's face it, we've all run. Sometimes a gel tab might fall out of your pocket. You put it in your pocket, you go to grab your water bottle, it falls out, you don't see it. I mean, it's not like everything we see out there is on purpose, and that's why it's like, why complain? It's maybe they didn't mean to do that. Now you see a 12-pack of Keystone on the trail. I'm pretty sure they knew.
Fall out of your pocket.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they knew that was there. But I mean, sometimes you see
weight.
wrappers.
Yeah.
You know, you got kids on the trail, and if you're a parent, the kid does something or doesn't know. I mean, there's just different scenarios, so let's just take care of it as opposed to complain about it, right? I mean,
and like,
just seems
like you're saying. Like I'm sure we have all had like just wrappers fall out of our pockets or something, and like I'm sure it's happened to me as well as you guys and everything. So like I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like when I see like a gel wrapper or like a chew wrapper on the ground, I'm like, oh well, it probably just fell out of their pack or their zipper opened up or something, and then just not freak out about it, just pick it up and go with my day, and it's like it doesn't have to be a stressful, like hateful thing. It's like, oh yeah, like, well, I'm helping them out. Maybe they'll help me out in the future.
It becomes a habit.
yeah.
Right. You don't think about it. You just reach down, you grab it.
Just like farmer blowing.
Yeah.
When, you know, I almost did that in a store once because I wasn't thinking. Right, I'm like, frozen food aisle. That's no bueno.
It's bad at the gym too, and you're like,
Yeah, you know, when you're picking up garbage, sometimes there's a hidden gem. It might be an actual full gel. You can just chuck it in your arsenal and use it later. I have too. You know, you never know
It's
what
good
you can
flavor.
find.
You might have to.
you might need it. It could just be like a blessing in disguise.
And you never know. Sometimes people buy the beef stick that's packaged with the cheese stick, and they pull the cheese stick out, the beef stick falls down. Boom.
I know.
Lunch.
You just brush those ants off. Right?
Ants aren't dangerous.
They're extra protein.
Yeah, so you never know. And sometimes you'll find those gems. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So don't be scared. Now, if you see like a sock or a glove, I'm careful with those.
That one,
That's
bring
tough.
A plastic bag, a
Yeah.
dog poop bag or
yeah,
something.
that's what
for
you
those,
need.
and,
You know.
You know what that sock and glove was used for.
Yeah, exactly. So those
Yeah.
ones you got to be a little more careful with.
Right. That's where you get the stick.
Yeah. You just carry it back like a torch.
Yeah.
exactly.
Hazmat coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, Derrick, I appreciate you coming back on the show.
Yeah,
I know
thank
you're
you.
busy. I mean, that's when we try to get a hold of you. And you're like, I'm going to Moab here, then I'm off to Spain, then I'm going to New Zealand, then Nicaragua, then, Overton, and I don't know when I'll be back. So, but we appreciate you taking the time to get on the show, especially after our last mishap. But love what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you bring so many cool stories to light. Through photography, I mean, it's crazy what a picture can tell, because you talk about the films and how you find that raw motion. Photo sometimes can really grab people. videos are cool. I can't wait for the RC truck one. That'll be pretty cool. Just a different side of things,
Well, that's
right?
going to open up an opportunity for new business.
Yeah.
It might be your guys' new sport.
Yeah.
Start a scale ultra trail running podcast or something. And
Hey, we'll put logos on your RC if you want. We'll sponsor
we
you.
can have like an event, like a race,
Yeah, there we go.
RC running race.
There we go. We'll throw a sticker on there. Yeah, but keep doing what you're doing. It's just inspiring to see, the stories you're telling through film and video and photography. And I'm excited to see how Georgia Death Race works out for you. That's me and Jill talk about it quite a bit. We used to even more, but that's a race that's kind of on the radar. But
Wanting to do.
Yeah, wanting
kind
to
of,
do that.
yeah.
Yes and no. It's one of those races. It's like I'd love to do that. Nah, I don't know. That's gonna hurt a little bit. It's gonna sting. But I wish it was like during peach season.
Oh yeah,
Because I love peaches in Georgia.
Peaches are
Yeah,
pretty
and it's like, but it's not peach season, I don't think.
Definitely not.
So yeah, they're gonna have to change the date of that one. Unless there's like a better race during peach season, maybe
Dude,
I'll come
that would
out
be
for that.
so hot and humid during peach season.
Could you imagine?
That'd be awful.
Isn't Brigham City like peach?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it is.
they-
Peach town,
something?
pretty much.
Yeah, August is like legit peach time.
Yeah.
Let's do the Brigham City Death Race and
Brigham
have
City,
peach
the
pie at
Willard
the end.
Peak Hill climb. Have
Yeah,
peaches
exactly.
at the cobbler at the top.
Yeah.
Cobbler's
whole,
knob.
like,
Cobbler's knob. I like that. You got to pound a piece of peach pie at the top before you come back down.
That's awesome.
I like
That-
this idea.
I'll race
All
that.
right.
But yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
keep
thank
up,
you. Yeah,
keep
thanks,
doing
guys.
what you're doing. We always take care of people. Make sure you check out his stuff.
His
Derrick
Insta
Lytle,
Kitty.
his Insta Kitty, Joel calls him. His
Yeah, that's
Facebook
right.
page.
Your Insta-Kitty feed.
All the cool projects you have coming out. Best of luck to you. I'm keeping up with Charlie on the track. Hopefully you can step your game up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Get your man card back. But yeah, thanks for coming on. We appreciate everything you're doing, especially your advocacy for public lands. I think that's huge, and I think that just evolves for all of us in what we do. So have a safe drive back in the whiteout.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he's excited. He's like, I'm gonna have to throw on some pants. But yeah, we'll catch you, I'm sure, somewhere at a race or a film, and I'll let you know when the timeline's ready for the 3-inch split comes out. I think that's what we'll call it. That sounds a good one, right? That'll
Just
catch
surprise me with it.
Just show up at your apartment in Brigham.
I'll just knock on the door. I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. 7 a.m. You're knocking on the door.
I'm gonna have a backpack full of squirrels and nut butter. Let's do this.
I'm lubed up. Let's go.
Get some Tiger Balm ready
Yeah.
to go.
Oh
Exactly.
man, let's not do that.
Just don't confuse the two.
Yeah, right. Been done. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Best of luck at your race, and yeah, we'll catch you on the trail. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners podcast. We'd like to thank Derrick Lytle for taking the time to join us again. You can check more of Derrick out on his Facebook or Instagram at Derrick Lytle. Just DerrickLytle. We also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by the website. We do have some swag left up there for you. Or you can hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.